Players era. That's Connor. I'm Dion. Gonzaga, Bama. Would you call this the game of the day?
I think it was. I
I
think it
think
was
so
a
too.
top 15 matchup. Yeah.
I think so too. Um, you and I very high on Bama. Obviously, you're probably the highest on Bama of the group, but I think maybe I'm the second highest, and maybe like the highest on Bama that isn't a part of like, or excuse me, highest on Gonzaga that isn't a part of the Gonzaga collective, as we'll call it. Um, Tying Grant Foster is really good. I do want to get into him. I'm not sure he should legally be allowed to play Connor, but we'll save that for later in the recap. But what were your overall thoughts with the team? This performance was really special.
It was timely defense. It was, I think, the two things that the two recipes that I had brought up for how both teams were going to win came to fruition, right? Gonzaga was playing team basketball. They were getting the ball into the paint, pounding the paint, winning down low. Alabama had more one-on-one shot makers. Well, at least they had one one-on-one shot maker, which is
Right.
more than Gonzaga could say, right?
Right.
They And maybe that was Gonzaga's plan, although it didn't seem like it because Gonzaga was switching everyone and their mother onto LeBaron Philon, trying to stop him.
Right.
Um, he had 29 points on 18 shots. He was a great playmaker in this game as well, LeBaron Philon. Great defender in this game as well, LeBaron Philon. Uh, but when you have Aiden Holloway, who I think missed like his first eight threes or something, um, and is the only other true perimeter scorer. Sherelle getting some points mainly off of second chance opportunities or like bad switches, where they were just able to kind of find him behind the defense. Um, it's going to be really tough to win those games, uh, especially when the opposing team's best player in plus minus doesn't make a shot from the floor. In
Yeah.
Mario St. Superi,
Yeah.
Mario St. Superi had 10 points all off of free throws.
He's also really good. I mean, I know he didn't like have the greatest performance, but I'll say this, like the way he controls the game. He doesn't have to like put the ball in the basket all the time, you know? Like
They had a 19-year-old who managed this game like a pro.
yeah.
Knew when to speed up, knew when to slow down, knew, I could go get this layup if I wanted. Like I could go attempt this layup, but if I slow down half a step, Graham Ike is going to be open under
Right.
the basket. Like he knew. I was joking about the points. Like a lot of it was that he was getting into the middle, the teeth of the defense, and then getting fouled. Um, but he was 10.6 assists, 5 rebounds. Again, freshman mistakes. There was one really bad pass late in that game
Yeah.
by St. Superi, but um, he's all but rendered Braden Smith kind of meaningless in this rotation. Like Braden Smith can come in and play, but when Braden Smith was on the court, LeBaron Philon was licking his lips. Like he knew he had free lunch when Braden Smith was on the floor.
Can I
Um,
defend? Can I defend Braden a little bit?
all right, go ahead.
LeBaron probably does that for 95% of the country.
That's fair. That's fair. Um, but no, I think this is a team full of guys who are, even if they're not on,
hmm
they make winning plays. And I'm gonna point to one guy in particular because he hasn't been on all year, but he's thrown himself to the floor more times to try and save a ball
Yeah.
than I've seen any player in a Gonzaga uniform do in a season, and that's Adam Miller.
Yeah.
Like he's made, maybe not, like he hasn't been a great shot maker yet this season. He hasn't been great offensively. But in terms of hustle plays, he's made more hustle plays for Gonzaga in the first 6 games of this season than I think he's made his entire career.
Yeah.
And I think that just goes to show you, like, first of all, if you don't try and make those hustle plays, you're not your ass is sitting on the bench,
For sure.
right? Like that's the luxury Mark Few has with how deep this team is. Um, but I mean, it was good to see Steel Venters have a great game. Like it's a rotation that's going to be fluid. The starters aren't always going to play the most minutes. Um, Although I think that at this point, with the exception of the Miller Steel Venters rotation and how that plays out, um, you've kind of solidified four of your starting five at this point. And I think that includes Tyon Grant Foster, that includes Mario St. Super.
Yeah, I don't disagree with any of that. I feel like Gonzaga is a really good team. I don't think Ty and Grant Foster should be allowed to play. How old is he?
He's 25. He's
Yeah.
younger than Chad Baker Mazara, if that's any consolation.
That's my dog, so I'm gonna leave Chad alone. But like Tyon looks 32. Like you can't like Tyon Grant Foster, Reggie Jackson stand next to each other. You don't know who's who.
Yeah.
Like Tyon Grant Foster looks like a 7 year NBA veteran. Like he's on like his third contract. I mean, he doesn't respectfully to Tyon Grant, he doesn't play like a 7 year NBA veteran, but
Right.
he's equal to that in the college game. This Gonzaga team, they look like a G League team. Like
Well, did you see the Kevin Sweeney tweet?
no, I didn't know what he say. I love Sweet.
Gonzaga's lineup with 5 minutes left to go was a 25-year-old in Tyon Grant Foster, a 24-year-old in Steel Venters, a 23-year-old in Graham Ike, a 21-year-old in Braden Huff, and a former Spanish pro in Mario State Super.
Yeah. And like Mark Few, I'm not mad at Gonzaga. I'm not mad at what Mark Few did. Like if they're gonna allow you to build rosters like this, you should. But like
Yeah,
he basically built the Windy City Bulls or the Stockton
yeah,
Kings or like the Bakersfield whatever Lakers or you know what I mean? Like he built
yeah,
a G League team. And like I mean a lot of these dudes are probably like honestly probably going to be playing in the G League next year. Like he
right.
he built a G League team to play college basketball and it's working. I think this team's phenomenal. The length they have on defense is insane. Um, I do want to point one thing out with Bama, and then I'll let you get into your thoughts on Bama as well. They had this issue last year. They shoot a lot of threes. The threes don't go in very often. And I feel like they go in a lot more against like bad teams than they do good teams. Um, they're currently shooting 33.5% from three, which is good for 168th in the country. Um, and I felt like they did the same thing last year, where everyone was like, they're just some insanely good shooting team. And I was like, I don't think they are, actually. Like, I actually think they're not very good at shooting threes. I just think they shoot a lot of them. This team has that same issue. And when they're missing, like they don't know what to do. And I felt like you saw that a lot in this game. And then, I think they made two threes with less than a minute to get them to nine. And neither one of those threes impacted the game in the slightest. So, this Bama team, Oates ball, I've said it for a lot. Like it works in the NBA because of the talent that you have in the NBA. It doesn't work in college because of the talent that you have in college. And it's streaky, man. Like you're gonna get ups, you're gonna get downs. It's very rare that you have like a team like a Gonzaga that's steady. And those are the type of teams you look at as championship contenders, the ones that are steady. I think Bama's high is as high as any team in the country. Respectfully, I think their low is about as low as any team in the country.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair to Bama, they were losing Latrell Wrightsell, who, for my money, is probably their best shooter, the best shooter on this roster. Um, I don't know if he makes it a massive difference in this game, but I do think he makes a good difference in this game. Um, but yeah, I mean, you take out, they were 3 of 4 at the end in like the last minute and a half of this game, just like heaving threes, making them 3 of 4. You take that out, they were 6 of 25.
Yeah.
Like all of a sudden, you go from 31% to just over 20. Um, so yeah, I agree with you. And I've never been a huge fan of Alabama, of Nate Oates' approach from like almost militant perspective. Like they only go for layups and threes.
Yeah.
Um, and yet it seems like a lot of the time when you look at their shot chart, like the one or two middies that they take go down.
It's because no one can stay in front of their guards.
Exactly.
Like I actually think they're taking away from LeBaron Philon and Aiden Holloway by doing the layups three thing because like those two can get to the middies and then they could get a layup and then like how much better of a team if those two just shoot like three threes but everything else is like inside the arc are you? You know what I mean? Like you live in the Bay. I'm from the Bay. Like I don't know if you're are you a Warriors fan? Do you watch the NBA
I'm a
at all?
Knicks fan,
You're a
so
Knicks fan.
yeah,
Oof.
yeah,
Um,
yeah, yeah.
boy, I'm sorry. Boy, did I just get distracted. Um, but okay, as a Warriors fan, I don't believe Steph Curry ruined basketball. Don't get me wrong. I think that's an egregious take. I do think he ruined the way coaches view the sport, though. And those coaches that are viewing the sport through Steph Curry's lens have subsequently ruined basketball. The coaches that encourage everyone to, because if you watch Steph Curry play, he's not threes and layups. He has a floater, he has a midi, he does all these different things. He's constantly moving, but Nate Oates watched like the 2015 Warriors and said, well, they make a lot of threes. They must only do threes and layups. And then he watched the Rockets do the same thing. And they missed 27 straight against us and like so on and so forth. And Nate Oates is a much better coach than I think somebody is that just does threes and layups, by the way. I think Nate Oates has much more in his bag. I think Aiden Holloway, LeBaron Philon, I think all these guys are better than just threes layups guys. There's more to their game. There's more to their coaching style. There's more that they can bring to the table. I think they're limiting themselves, trying to be something that never actually existed. And that's
Yeah.
my problem with the way the sport is played at times, is oh, we want to be the 2015-16 Warriors. This isn't how the Warriors played. This isn't how Steph Curry plays basketball. Like, this is a made up formula that we think a team had. And I get the sport's a copycat league. You're not copying anything though, because they never did this.
Well, you're trying to you're seeing the threes and layups without seeing potentially one of the toughest defensive off-ball defensive assignments in the history of the game that came
Yes.
before that three.
Right.
Um, no, I agree with you. Look, I think Bama's great. I think they had an off night shooting, but that's going to happen when you have one absolute star in LeBaron Philon and a streaky one in Aiden Holloway, and then the rest of the players around them are role players.
Yeah.
Um, and I mean Gonzaga is like they're built with more role with I guess better role players, but still with role players. But when you have, and I'm gonna bring this up, I still think that there's a piece of me that believes that Graham Ike is one of the most disrespected players
Sure.
in
For
the
sure.
country.
For sure.
Um, he didn't shoot efficiently. I think Bama for defensively for the first 25 minutes of this game was unbelievable. Like they knew exactly how to get, they would double down, they would wait for the clear out double, try and kind of trap Graham EK and then hope that he couldn't get the ball out. There was a play where he had it stripped. No, he didn't have it stripped because he didn't have a turnover. Was it Braden Huff might have had it stripped by LeBaron Philon, like trying to find someone to pass it to. Um, he finished with another double double, 21 points, 11 rebounds, 3 assists. When was the last time, if I were to tell you that Gonzaga's center would throw an alley-oop
Yeah.
across the basket to their small forward, would you ever in a million years believe that would come from a Gonzaga team?
No, never. I would also never believe that they combined for the age of 48.
Graham EK to me is just like he can rebound, he can defend, he can switch. They put Graham EK on LeBaron Philon for a possession, and but for an unbelievable mid-range shot over a contest, like Graham EK played that defense about as well as you can expect a center to play defense on LeBaron Philon. Like the contest was there. It was maybe a little bit late because Phylon did an insanely good step back, but it was one of those like great defense, just way better offense. Um, he is the guy that they try to, and it's easy. Like at the end of games, Gonzaga's inbounding is get it to the big guy because Graham Ike is their best free throw shooter. It's when Mario St. Super is at least not on the floor. Like this is just a team built around a 22-year-old 22-year-old, 23-year-old, someone somewhere in there, who is a center, but is starting to like develop wing skills at 6'9", 250 or whatever he is. Like, I just, when you have that, it's it's great. And I think this is the final thing I'll say on Gonzaga. This is a team that looked like, or a coach that looked like they lost a really close game where they were in hell for 40 minutes against a longer, more athletic Houston
Yeah.
and went, okay, we're going to get longer and more athletic.
Yeah.
And they did just that. Like this is the team you make when you see Houston beat, like just kind of you came back, but they just kind of choked you out and and you just want to get more athletic and longer and
Yeah.
bigger and older and you put together this team where you have Jalen Worley who'd be starting on like 325, 330 teams in the country coming off the bench. You have Steel Venters who'd be starting on like 250 to 300 teams coming off the bench. Um, it's just,
Ty and
I
Graham
think
Foster, who will be ruled ineligible on 270 teams in the country.
I just think this is it's not Gonzaga's best team. I am on the verge of calling it one of their three best teams because I think it has fewer holes on the perimeter than, especially defensively, than the Chet year did, and then the Brandon Clark, Rui Hachimura year did. Um, but it's certainly to me a top five. It's playing like a top five Gonzaga team of all time. But I think it's the first time where Mark Few's gone, oh, my roster building, the way I used to do it, doesn't translate when I'm not getting 5 stars to kind of plug holes. So I'm just gonna go after athletes, which is something that he really hasn't done. He's gone after like offensive skilled players, and now he's going after athletes, and it's paying dividends for
Yeah.
this Gonzaga team.
Yeah, I mean, listen, final thoughts from me as well. This Gonzaga team, I do believe it's the best Gonzaga team I've ever seen. Maybe not the most talented. It's hard to say it's more talented than teams that had Chet or Jalen Suggs, right? Like those are the most talented players Mark Hughes ever had. But when I look at the same way I look at that Purdue team that lost in the Natty to UConn. That team's probably more talented than this Purdue team. I think this Purdue team's more equipped to win a championship. I think Chet's Gonzaga team more talented than this Gonzaga team. I think this Gonzaga team's more equipped to win a championship. Same with the Suggs team. And for me, like I'm infatuated by this team. Ken Palm currently doesn't have them projected to lose a game. And granted, their schedule does ease up a tad, like with conference play and everything like that. I think Bama has issues yet again, the same issues that they had last year, and I'm getting exhausted by it. I have to be honest. I think Bama is far too talented to play this brand of basketball. I think they're far too um, skilled. I think Nate Oates is far too talented of a coach to play this brand of basketball. Like, let's be serious about what we're doing. But overall, I think this was just Gonzaga saying, hey, we saw Bama lose a close one to Purdue. We saw Bama beat St. John's essentially on the road. We saw Bama beat Illinois essentially on the road. We're better than all those teams. Maybe not Purdue, but we should be in the Purdue conversation. We're better than the other teams, and they punched Alabama in the mouth. I think Gonzaga at the moment has to be the favorite to win the Players Era with how this looked. Them or Michigan at the moment. I don't exactly know what that means because I'm confused by this tournament. But nonetheless, we will be here for every single preview and recap of the Players Era and Gonzaga the rest of the year.